Hey everyone, this is Abby and Alyssa reporting for Group 3. The other group members are Salvatore, Bethany, Brent, Killian, and Richard, and we'll be discussing the differences we found between original research and literature reviews in our field of research.
Alright, so some of the common themes we saw in our research were the similar styles of writing between the authors. And what we mean by similar styles of writing is using medical terminology as well as using the scientific method in order to prove a hypothesis or see their hypothesis not be proven in their papers. The papers also were very similar in the fact that they had the same headings, meaning that they had the same type of research done. So they started out with an abstract and then moved on to an introduction. Following those two categories, there was also the categories of methods and materials, results, analysis of those results, conclusions based on those results, meaning they either concluded their hypothesis or they didn't conclude their hypothesis, and finally a discussion of what was seen in that study.
There are a lot of similarities in the articles. All our articles were cited in the American Medical Association format, which is typical of the field of study of athletic training, kinesiology, any medical field of study. Superscripts are often used to indicate when certain works are being referenced, and the longest and most content-packed sections are the conclusions and discussions. And this is due to the fact that the discussion kind of takes the results and the methods and puts them together, saying this is what we found when we tested this, this is what we found when we tested this, and puts them into real world situations instead of just random numbers that you're looking at. They apply it. And the conclusions just wrap everything up, starting from the introduction all the way to the discussions and how they hope to further this research in the long run and what they plan to do with it. Researchers often discuss why the research is prevalent in the introduction. They want to give background information so that you can say, oh, this is what applies to me, this doesn't apply to me, I can stop reading this article now. And they also want to say why they're doing the study and what they hope to learn from it. Figures and graphs are often used because it kind of takes a step back from the terminologies being used that sometimes people don't understand, and it allows a different perspective to be shown and seen.
Differences in this paper were a lot harder to find. So because a lot of these papers are based on the scientific method and the scientific method to research, they conduct their research and their experiments very, very similarly. One of the easiest things to spot in this paper as a difference would be the way the abstracts were formed. So the abstract is the very beginning of the paper. It kind of comes before the introduction and gives you an idea of what the paper is about and how this paper either applies to you or doesn't apply to you. The introduction sometimes is more of a introduction of the topic and then an introduction of the hypothesis and what they're trying to prove and what they're trying to have proven. So the abstracts came in two separate forms. It came in a paragraph form, which is more of papers that combine your abstract and your intro in order to get everything in one. And the second one was it was a one or two sentence piece that sort of describes what the point of the study is without giving away introduction information. So there was no background involved, and there was nothing really about the experiment other than the hypothesis or what it was trying to prove.
Just to wrap it up, the authors have to follow strict guidelines in order to get these published into journals and the databases. There are certain levels of professionalism that have to be followed because of the intense field that we are in. This allows for subtle changes by the author, kind of letting the author, have a little bit of personality, but they still have to stick to the strict guidelines that are set forth by the American Medical Association. And this allows for very little variation in general. A little bit, but not too much, just in order to keep it, professional, so that everyone from across the world who reads these is going to understand what this person is saying and how they're saying it and why they're saying it. And it's very important that, everyone is able to understand because they're going to use it in their field of study, So that's our report.